We're the Jubilee Project, and we make videos for a good cause.
Over the last 2 years, we have produced 70 videos, raised over $30,000 for nonprofits around the world, and garnered over 4 million views on our videos.
Hello, sunshines! It is such an honor to finally be sitting here with the Jubilee Project boys. How are you today?
We're doing very, very well.
Thank you for making it. I know we just got stuck in LA traffic here.
We did. We were stuck in traffic for the last hour and a half. There was a big fire on the highway, but we were desperate to get over here as soon as possible because we were looking forward to this. So
I know. I mean, I feel like through our tweets, I kind of know you and Facebook connections, but not really. So it's such a treat to finally have you here. And being from the Bay and you guys being from the East Coast, I'm still trying to figure out LA traffic myself.
We're still trying to navigate. We're still trying to get our bearings here, but soon enough we'll be like Cali boys for real. We're not quite there yet, I think.
Absolutely. So I want you guys to be able to introduce yourselves, how you want to be introduced to everybody, and let us know, because I know we got government, entertainment, medicine. So can you briefly describe, who you are and what you do in this group?
Sure. I guess I'll go first. My name's Jason Lee, and I guess we're part of the Jubilee Project. My background is in business. So I studied business in school, and I did consulting for the last 3 years before we decided to go to business or to the Jubilee Project full time.
Okay.
I'm Eric, and I was in medical school. I'm taking a leave of absence to do the Jubilee Project.
Wow. How do you do that in medical school?
How do I do that in medical
How do
school?
you take a leave of absence?
You just well, they weren't too happy about it, but I just basically went up to them and I told them that Eddie and Jason were forcing me to drop out, and so
blame it on these two.
blame it on these two, right? And they were like, "We can't do anything about it." Eddie and Jason, they're good guys, so they were just like, "Okay, go do your thing."
That's awesome. Dope medical school. Points for you all.
yeah, and I'm Eddie Lee. I'm brothers with Jason, friends with Eric from college, and I used to work in politics at the White House for the last couple of years, and the three of us recently, I think it was 2 months ago, just quit our jobs and school. We came out here and we started up this project called the Jubilee Project. So we're really excited to get started, make videos for a good cause. We've been doing this for the last couple of years now, and so we're pumped up about that.
Now, very different backgrounds from a media and film background. So how did you get interested in filmmaking, and what's your equipment like?
We started off with just a little flip camera, and we were running around just making little films off of our handheld camera. We're not really filmmakers by trade. We never went to school. We never took a single class on film, but we like telling stories, and that's what the Jubilee Project is all about, is telling inspiring stories that will empower, enable, and inspire others to do good. Yeah.
And we also have a heart for social justice. I think given our different backgrounds, we come from different experiences, and that's given us a passion for helping all kinds of people.
Now, take me through the list of videos that you've done. I mean, I've watched Picture Perfect. I've also, watched the one with the red balloon one. Right. So how do you choose your causes? Because there's so many causes out there, and, you guys are just one, team doing everything.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 2 years, we've actually produced over 70 videos. So everything from Picture Perfect to Love Language, which was another popular one. A lot about 50 people, one question, Day Without Shoes. But generally, these are things that we are passionate about. We find organizations or groups that we think are doing fantastic work that we want to support as well. Generally, I think it's very much an outpouring of the passion that we have. So Eric obviously is in medicine. He's really, really passionate about a lot of medical issues. Eddie about social justice, about human rights. And myself more on the business end of things. That makes me sound like I don't have any passions. Me about more poverty and about international development. But those are kind of the reasons why we started in that area. And since then, we've kind of grown a little bit more. I don't know if you guys want to share more, but yeah.
Well, is there any one life experience for each of you all that made you feel like, today's the day I quit my job. I want to do something and pursue something that is more for the world?
Yeah, I think at an early age, we grew up believing that, our lives, we don't live it just for ourselves, that we've been given gifts and opportunities, and that when you're given some things, you have to use that for benefiting others. And that's what we grew up believing from our parents, from our friends. But this process of quitting our jobs was not something that we did overnight. It was something that we did over a 2-year period of time where we saw the impact that social media, that videos had on others. And so, when we saw the impact that Love Language had or Picture Perfect had, we realized that there is a potential to make a difference in this next generation of young people, and that's why we decided to do what we do. Yeah.
There's this article that we read some time ago written by a palliative care nurse. She writes about people on their deathbeds. And so she has this article about the top 5 regrets that people have on their deathbeds. And the number 1 regret, was not about, I wish I had worked hard enough or anything like that. It was a statement that people were saying about how I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not a life others expected of me. And so we were going around on a college tour this past year, really sharing that with other people, but it came to a point at the end when we questioned, are we doing this ourselves too? And that's when we decided to make that leap of faith.
Now, can you tell me why you guys are all now in LA doing this LA Dream? You're not here for the entertainment kind of thing in the Hollywood aspect, but can you tell everybody why you're now in LA?
Yeah, I think one of the most practical reasons is actually because we don't actually have jobs anymore, and for that reason we don't have that much of a budget. And actually Eric's family just moved out to Irvine. And that's why we've moved out there. We've literally quit our jobs and we've moved into his home. Mm-hmm. So the 3 of us are jobless, living in his home, making videos.
Jobless, but maybe not homeless, so that's good.
Homeless, exactly. So that's a step. And also, for us, we wanted to be on the West Coast where there are a lot of, there's a great community for YouTube as well as, great organizations out here. And I think for us, we've never actually been in the same city together before. And it was a great step for us to just kind of be in the same city and really commit.
Now, let's talk about YouTube and also the catalyst of change, because I was reading how when you were trying to raise money for a project, it hit a certain amount of money, but once you put it on YouTube, you raise even more. So did you ever consider social media before starting the Jubilee Project, or was it something, let me try it and see what's going to happen?
Yeah, we never actually intended to start the Jubilee Project. If you know about the history of the Jubilee Project, it was really a response to the Haiti earthquake. And it was only after we created a video about it that we saw social media is such a powerful medium to do good. And then through that process, every step of the way, we feel so blessed because so many incredible people have supported us, but also have inspired us to do more. So, we get a lot of emails saying, oh, thank you so much for what you're doing. But for us, it's such a privilege because we always hear about amazing people doing amazing work elsewhere, and that inspires us to continue to do good. But we love social media for that, like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's just such a great way to connect with young people, and all people really, and just encourage a lot of good.
Is there any one film that you've done that really surprised you by the response from the viewers?
No, I think Love Language was our most successful video to this date, and we never expected to get this kind of response. And if you haven't seen the video, it's about sharing love with those that don't feel like they are loved. And our goal was to use that video to make them feel like they're loved regardless of who they are, whatever their background is, whatever their identity is, they're loved. And I think that resonated with a lot of people, and we were so surprised by how people responded. And there was one story that we truly are blessed by, and that's a story of a mother here in the States who had adopted 5 children, and one of those daughters ended up being deaf. And so when that daughter watched that video, she felt like, this was about her and her story. And, that after watching that video, she felt like she was somebody, she was loved. And so when we saw that video, we realized, wow, we can't stop doing this. We need to keep on making more stories because the impact it makes on people's lives, it's priceless.
And doing good is contagious.
Right.
Hashtag that. DGIC. Now, I can't imagine the outpouring of love and response you get from your fans. Would you mind sharing some comments that really hit home for you?
Oh man, some comments that really hit home for us.
Our mom is our biggest fan, so our mom's the one that's always calling us up after every video. She's the one that actually she started leaving comments like, you guys need to stop doing this video thing and get a job or get a life. And slowly she's been evolving in her support for us. And now she runs our whole Doing Good is Contagious store. She's our biggest supporter. She's been helping us with this whole process. Yeah, so we love her for it. Yeah.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah, we've got a ton of different stories. There's just young people who are saying, you know what, I want to help too. I'm going to go have a bake sale. I'm going to go, volunteer for 10 hours this weekend. I think one of the most touching stories is when we were first starting out, we were starting out with flip cameras, as Eddie said, and iMovie. But we actually, one of our first donations we ever received was from a young college student who was on loans, who was like working a full-time job as she was trying to support herself through college, and she just donated $1,000 to help us buy her first camera.
Wow.
And it was something like that where, we never asked for money, we didn't ask for donations, but she just felt really compelled to give, and that was really, really compelling for us because it was a simple act of, generosity that really, really encouraged us. But little things like that where, we always say that we believe that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, and we feel the same way. We're just ordinary guys, but together we can do something extraordinary. So.
How about you? I want to get your opinion.
My opinion,
Yeah.
a comment.
Yeah.
One of the comments that we recently got was on our Call Me Maybe video.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe.
I mean, we don't really do videos like that. So it was kind of like, we just kind of want to see what people would say. But they loved it. And I think it showed some of our personality. And it really allowed us to connect with viewers and allow them to also connect with us to show that, hey, we're people too. We like to have fun. And we do crazy stuff like everyone else.
Now, going along with that, you guys all on my show, every time I always ask, if there's one thing that the viewers want to know about you, what would that be? It could be crazy, weird. Think about that a little bit.
Sure.
And then I'll start with you.
Yeah.
You can set the bar.
I know, and you told us that you're going to ask this question, and we've been thinking about it. I think one thing that people don't know about us is that our first retreat together, the three of us together, when we first decided to take this leap, we came together in Washington, D.C., and we had it at a Korean spa. And I'm not sure if you guys know too much about the Korean spas, but it's not really, it's like an open space with, guys in one section and girls in another section, and guys, you don't really wear any clothes, and so.
Oh no, this is turning out to be
I know,
an
this is,
interesting
I don't know
story.
if,
Let me
the,
get closer.
if the sunshines are ready for this, but.
Okay, how back in the Jubilee
I know,
Project,
right.
boys?
We pushed the envelope just a little bit, and our retreat was in this sauna. The three of us, at one point, were just like, fully just embracing each other's being without any layers on top of us. So
Naked, just pretty much. You're saying naked.
we had a very
You
intimate
don't
moment.
have to sugarcoat that.
Right. So
Experience you could have.
I think that helped us get closer together. We consider ourselves not only friends but brothers, and the reason why we're able to get to where we are is because of the love that we have for each other and the trust that we have for each other. And so I think at this point we can say that there's literally nothing sort of between us, and even the physicality.
There's no layers.
Right.
There's no hidden layers.
Literally, there's no layers.
Right.
Thank God it went that way. Because when you said there was girls on one side and boys on the other side,
Right,
I thought
right,
you
that
guys
could've
came
gone
into
worse.
the.
We ran into
I thought
the
you went into
girls'
the wrong
side.
room. So I was like, oh goodness.
We'll tell you more after the video if that's what for that.
How about you personally? What is something that viewers wouldn't know about you?
I'm a big nerd. I grew up, I don't think I would ever imagine myself in a position like this. Just being in front of the camera is one thing, but actually doing this kind of career is a very different thing that I expected to be doing. I grew up, captain of my chess club in high school.
Okay.
Started the math and science clubs. I missed my high school prom to study for the AP chemistry exam.
Okay, yeah, that's where we just.
And
Okay.
it was no good. I didn't have that many friends. Jason was my only friend. We were.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think I think I had a very safe mentality in life, and I think one thing that we talk to college kids about is that that safe mentality, that sort of tiger mom mentality, is not really who we are as we're the generation of the Jeremy Lins, of like breaking through, of making big differences, and I think that's what we've been doing as Jubilee Project. So, there's a point in my life when I realized we can't just play it safe, we can't just do what everyone else is doing. We need to go out and break out and do what we're meant to be doing, and this is what we're meant to be doing, and so that's where I ended up taking a leave of absence from college to join the Obama campaign. That's where I learned to make videos, and then I ended up leaving my job to do this. And so it's kind of a huge life change for me. But to get to this point, I realized that, you know, we need to live bigger than ourselves. We need to do something greater.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
for someone who grew up so safe, to do all this is completely
Oh my gosh.
opposite.
Oh my gosh.
So good for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And how about you?
Yeah, well, kind of like Eddie, I grew up in a pretty safe environment as well, in the suburbs in Dallas, Texas. But one of the first charity events that I partook in was in high school. It was a mud wrestling tournament. We were
Wow.
raising awareness and raising money for a homeless shelter. And so I was paired up to wrestle this other large Asian in our class. He was known as the Panda. I was known as the Panda Express. And so when we were wrestling, the contest was known as the Pandemonium.
Oh my goodness.
And it was no ordinary mud wrestling match. They put ketchup, they put mayonnaise, they put all sorts of nasty stuff in the mud.
You guys are wrestling for a sandwich.
We were wrestling for a sandwich. We were wrestling for a good cause, and that's really when kind of I like, you know, really came to this realization of of how you know, you could do a lot of creative things and to raise awareness for different issues, and that was sort of my first experience doing something crazy like that.
I think that's what
I did. Yeah.
Panda Express 1, Panda 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys didn't know that story?
didn't know that
See, this is
story.
why I like asking these questions,
Yeah.
especially in groups, because you guys learn things about each other that you never
yeah.
knew. Okay, surprise us, Jason.
I don't have that many secrets or that many things I haven't shared. One thing that we share about a lot, you know, Eddie shares the story a lot, is when we were younger, we were kind of nerdy. I think Eddie a little bit more so than I'd like to believe. But when we were young, our parents used to work a lot. So during the summer, they would actually drop us off at a library, and we would spend all day like kind of like sorting books and, you know, hanging out like 8 hours community service in the library. But our dad was like a big movie lover. So every once in a while when our dad was going to drop us off, instead of dropping us off at the library, what he would do is he would actually drop us off at a movie theater at like 9 or 10 in the morning. And literally I would look, this was like my favorite thing during the summer, but we would just stay there the entire day and just watch like 4 or 5 films, just back to back to back to back, and stay in the theater. So I think that was kind of where, we don't share that story that often because it's not ethical to do that.
Oh, so you're
But-
movie hopping.
We were movie hopping. We don't encourage that. But
What can you do when you're being dropped off at a movie theater at 9? It's like, little kids.
I think that's kind of where we started to love films and love this idea of storytelling, and you can kind of, you know, go to a different place or live a different scenario or live a different world. So I think that's really cool.
Now the ladies are gonna love this next question because I get this question asked a lot, and I don't know if you guys do, but they girls out there want to know: are the Jubilee Project boys single, and what are you looking for in your mates?
We'll let Eric start.
Well, I have been proudly taken for 3.5 years now.
He owns it. I'm proudly taken.
Elaine's like, yeah.
Elaine's like, yeah, my girlfriend's in Boston, so we're doing this long distance thing. But these guys have been incredibly supportive, and really I think that she's actually been sort of integrated as part of the Jubilee Project team. She does a lot of our finances. So in a way, it's really helped support our relationship a lot.
Aw, she supports in more ways than one. You got a good one then. All right, how about you?
Yeah. No, we don't. I don't. And I don't get asked this question actually. So, but it's for the last 3 years, my serious relationship has been with the Jubilee Projects.
Good,
I don't.
safe answer.
I haven't. Yeah. So no, very happily single. We're very much committed to what we're doing now and focused. You know, obviously, the type of person I would be looking for, should that opportunity come, is someone that's confident, fun. You know, I think someone that is very humble is a big thing for me. Someone that loves other people. That's what I love. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so right now the score is 1-1.
Oh, me.
Tiebreaker.
I am also currently single. also dating the Jubilee Project. I'm not sure. We're not really sure how Eric did this for the past 2 years, because literally he was dating in a serious relationship, going to med school and trying not to fail. But every night we would have calls. We'd be editing videos. And I literally don't know how you did that, because when I was in New York, I did not have time to, let alone like look or talk to a girl. But in terms of who I...
To find someone who's really patient and understanding.
Patient and
For me.
understanding.
Yeah, no. to do.
I was like, yeah, I guess
just
so.
Dating tips from your
Ouch, that hurts. In terms of what I look for in a girl, I want someone who's fun as well, someone who's really confident as well. I think someone who's really passionate about something, whatever it might be. But also someone who loves doing good as well, because I think you need someone, like Elaine, like who Eric's dating, who just really believes in the cause that you support. Just because day in, day out, we wake up and we're thinking about the Jubilee Project, and we're really always kind of living it. So I think you have to like love that too, otherwise you would hate us. I don't know if I'd be a good boyfriend right now, though. Right? I feel like it'd be really tough.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Well, thank you so much for sharing truthfully. And regardless, I know that you guys are all in a bromance relationship regardless, to do good, and that's awesome, because you're living your life for someone else and for the rest of the world. So for all that, I know everybody joins me in saying thank you for giving such highlights to these issues that need more attention. I guess before we sign off, can we talk about some current videos that you're doing? And
Yeah, we have a number of projects that we're working on. The big one that we are sort of fundraising for now is called The End of AIDS. It's a documentary that we want to put together hopefully by the end of this year to raise awareness for a very important cause, and that is AIDS. And we believe by 2015 that we can see a generation of people without AIDS. But what we're missing right now in the political atmosphere is that urgency to get the common man to really step up and feel like they're a part of that. And so what this documentary is going to do is to really activate this generation to rally around this cause and to hopefully motivate our political leaders to do something about it. So that's one of them.
it's okay.
I think one big thing that we also want to do is develop a robust youth movement. So we're trying to really engage with high school and college students by setting up these chapters around the country. And the idea is that we're not content with making a lot of videos or getting a lot of views. What we really want to do is we want to help support and we want to help equip young people to be able to go out there and make a difference. And if we're not doing that, then we're not really, living out our cause, our mission. So we really want to engage and work with young people to help and support, their passion and their opportunities to do good.
Yeah, we've got a couple more small projects in the works right now. We've got a film called The Last Pick that's involving Jeremy Lin, who is a Bay native. Is that right?
Yeah.
A San Franciscan, whatever. We also have a film, one on voting. So a voting PSA that's going to feature a lot of YouTube folks. That's going to come out actually in the next week or two. And then another film on mentoring. But we've got a lot of great ideas that we hope to be pushing out. So hopefully you'll just see a lot of work coming out of the Jubilee Project now that we're committed full-time to it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to drive all the way out here to come meet with me. Of
I'll
course.
say that we're very big fans of you, Nicki. Like, we've been watching your videos for a long time now. I've been telling these guys you are like the Oprah of the Asian American community,
Well,
and
thank
so we
you.
gotta
Really
really
appreciate
lift
that.
up this goal over here.
That makes us sunshines then?
Yeah,
We're
you
very
guys are part of
sunshine.
Sunshine.
That's right. So keep on doing what you're doing. We're big supporters. So anything you need from us, let us know.
Well, I really appreciate that, especially coming for you all. So
Yeah.
we're all doing good together. So
Right.
anything that you would like to tell your followers or supporters?
We love you. Thank you so much for all your support, and we really appreciate it. It really, we read every email, we read every tweet, we read every post, and we're so grateful for all of your support.
And I'll just add, don't stop, chasing your dreams. You all have so much potential that I believe that this is the generation that will just break through all these bamboo ceilings. We're going to see, the next great teachers, the next great artists, but also the next great leaders of the community, maybe even the next Asian American president. So I believe that this is our time. But what we want to do is to be there to support all of you. And so that's what we do through our videos. That's what we do through our social media. So, we're excited about that.
Anything else? I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh,
but-
no.
Okay.
Doing good is contagious.
Hashtag that and share this video because doing good is contagious and learning about the Jubilee Project boys is doing good. So pretty much, follow their stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Hi, this is Jason.
I'm Eric,
And this is Eddie.
and we're the Jubilee Project.
And you're watching Nicki's son.
And if you didn't know, now you know.
That's pretty good. You did it.
I'll put it on self timer, but I want to get a picture.
Oh, cool.